In this lecture, we are going to solve the second problem on variable loading. A stepped shaft of diameters capital D and small d is subjected to a variable axial load P, which cyclically varies between 0 and 10 kilonewton. Okay. Here, the minimum load is 0 and the maximum load is 10 kilonewton. The shaft is made of C20 steel with an ultimate stress of 500 megapascal and yield stress of 260 megapascal. Determine the diameters capital D and small d with d by d is equal to 1.5. Capital D by small d is equal to 1.5. Factor of safety is equal to 2. Then notch sensitivity factor is given. So it is actually Q. So Q is equal to 0.8 and R by D is equal to 0.2, where R is the fillet radius. Okay, so this is the given drawing. So here it is actually a stepped shaft. The shaft is subjected to axial loading. Okay, we can write the given data. Sigma U is 500 megapascal, that is 500 Newton per mm square. Then yield strength is 260 megapascal, so 260 Newton per mm square. The minimum load is 0. Okay, so write W minimum is equal to 0 Newton and the W maximum is equal to 10 kilonewton, so it is 10 into 10 power 3 Newton. Further, two ratios are given. One is the ratio between capital D and small d, it is 1.5. Okay, then the fillet radius divided by smaller diameter is 0.2. So this is also given in the problem. Then factor of safety n is equal to 2. Then notch sensitivity factor Q is equal to 0.8. Okay, so this Q should be used in calculation of fatigue stress concentration factor. Okay, in the previous problem, the stress concentration factor is directly given, so we have taken the value. But in this problem, the stress concentration factor, that is Kf, is not given, so we have to calculate the Kf. So we know that Kf is equal to 1 plus Q into Kt minus 1. Here the Kt is theoretical stress concentration factor and Q is the notch sensitivity factor. So Kt, for this drawing we have to calculate the stress concentration using the standard graphs. Okay. We'll use Soderberg equation to solve the problem, and the equation is 1 by n is equal to sigma m by sigma y plus kf sigma a divided by ka into sigma minus 1. Here it is axial load, so I have multiplied ka here. Okay, fine. Here n is given, it is given. Sigma m we have to calculate. Sigma y is yield stress, it is given in the problem, it is 260 megapascal. Kf we have to calculate, sigma a we have to calculate, Ka it's a constant, and endurance limit stress also it is not given, so we have to calculate it. So we have to calculate sigma m, Kf, sigma a and sigma minus 1. And we know that the equation for sigma m is equal to sigma max plus sigma minimum divided by 2. In the case of sigma a, it is sigma max minus sigma minimum divided by 2. So these equations are there in the data book, page number 7.6. You can refer that. First I am going to calculate the maximum stress and minimum stress, because to calculate the mean stress and amplitude stress I need sigma max and sigma minimum. Okay, so sigma max, since it is axial load, W max is equal, sigma max is equal to load by area. Here it is maximum load, so substitute maximum load divided by area. And in the problem, the maximum load is 10 into 10 power 3 Newton. Okay, so we can substitute the value, it is 10 into 10 power 3 Newton. Then in the question, the cross section is a circular one, and we know that for circular cross section, A is equal to pi by 4 d square. Okay, so one thing is very important, there are two diameters are there. So one is capital D and the another one is small d. So here I have substituted the value of small d because the reason is the lower area is subjected to high stress values. In the maximum diameter, that is in the maximum area, the stress is distributed, but in the case of smaller diameter, the stress magnitude will be higher. So these small regions are subjected to high stress value. That is why I have substituted small d here. Okay. So if you solve this, finally you will get 12.73 into 10 power 3 divided by d square Newton per mm square. Then the minimum stress, sigma minimum is equal to W minimum divided by A. So in the problem, the W minimum value is 0. So substitute it as 0 and area is again the same, pi by 4 small d square. So the minimum stress will be 0. Now we have calculated the maximum stress and the minimum stress. We can substitute in the mean stress equation. Sigma max is 12.73 into 10 power 3 and minimum is 0. Then solve this equation, you will get sigma mean is equal to 6365 divided by d square Newton per mm square. Then in the case of variable stress, it is sigma max minus sigma minimum divided by 2. So here also the minimum stress is 0, so the answer will be same. Okay. So in the case of minimum load is 0, then mean stress and amplitude stress will be equal. Okay. So we have calculated sigma m and sigma a. Now we have to calculate the fatigue stress concentration factor. Okay. We know that the equation for fatigue stress concentration factor is Kf is equal to 1 plus Q into Kt minus 1. In the previous problem, the Kf value is directly given, so we have directly substituted it. Here it is not given. They have given the notch sensitivity factor value, so it is 0.8. If we calculate Kt value, then we can substitute in this equation and we can find out the value of Kf. Okay. So Kt is theoretical stress concentration factor, and we have already solved 2 problems on how to calculate the stress concentration factor. So in the data book, we have to search for the similar kind of drawing. So in the given drawing, you can see that it's a stepped shaft and it is subjected to an axial load. Okay. So if you search in the data book, then you can find this image in the page number 7.11. So here also it's a stepped shaft with a shoulder fillet and it is subjected to tension. Okay, so that is very important. Same kind of stepped shaft will be there for bending load and torsion load. You have to check the load, type of load also. So first thing you have to verify is the nature of cross section, and the second thing is the type of load. Okay, so here the nature of cross section is stepped bar and the type of load is axial load. So this graph you can take from PhD data book, page number 7.11. Okay, and in the graph the x-axis is R by D. Okay, so in the drawing you can see R is the fillet radius and D is the smaller diameter. Okay, in the problem also the R is fillet radius and D is the smaller diameter. And in the problem they have given that R by D is equal to 0.2. So they have directly given, we can take the value. Then the graph curve is D by D. Okay, and in the problem the D by D value is given as 1.5. So R by D is 0.2, D by D is 1.5. So search for 1.5 curve. So it is the second one. So here the D by D is 1.5. So R by D is 0.2. So 1.88, 2.2. So this is 0.2. So you can draw a line like this. Okay. So here the line is D by D is 1.5. So from this, draw a straight line, draw a horizontal line. So here it is around 1.4 and 1.5. So I have taken it as 1.45. Okay. So the y-axis is Kt. So Kt value is 1.45. You can draw a plot like this. So this is x-axis and it is R by D. Then here it is D by D. So from R by D 0.2, if you draw a straight line to D by D 1.5, then the Kt will be 1.45. So this graph is essential. Okay, fine. So we have calculated the value for Kt, and in the problem the q value is given, so we can substitute the value of kt and q. So that is 1 plus q is 0.8 and kt is 1.45. So if you solve this equation, finally you will get kf is equal to 1.36. So this kf should be substituted in the Soderberg equation. So you should not directly substitute the kt value. You have to calculate the kf value from the kt and we have to substitute it. Now we have calculated sigma m, sigma a and the kt value. The next one is endurance limit stress. Okay. So if in the problem the endurance limit stress is not directly given, then you can refer the formula from PhD data book page number 1.41. So this is actually the table from PhD data book 1.41. Okay. So here you can see the endurance limit for tension and compression is 0.36 sigma u. For reverse load it is 0.36 sigma into u. Okay. So you can substitute that. It is sigma minus 1 is equal to 0.36 sigma u. So sigma u is directly given in the problem. It is 500 megapascal. So you can substitute it. That is equal to 0.36 into 500. That is equal to 180 Newton per mm square. Okay. So endurance limit stress we have calculated, it is 180 Newton per mm square. So now we can go to Soderberg equation and we can substitute the values. N is given in the problem, we can substitute it, n is equal to 2. Sigma m we have calculated, that is 6365 divided by d square. So you can substitute the value of sigma m. Then sigma y is given in the problem, it is 260 megapascal. Then kf we have calculated, it is 1.8 and sigma a is 6365 divided by d square, that we have already calculated. Then Ka is the load correction factor for axial loading and we know that Ka is equal to 0.8. It is a constant. Remember that Ka is equal to 0.8. Then sigma minus 1 we have calculated in the previous step. It is 180 Newton per mm square. We can substitute it. Okay. So after substituting everything, you can solve the equation. Just divide 260 with this 6365. We will get 24.48 and if you solve this side, then 79.56 divided by d square will be there. So if you solve this equation, finally you will get the small d value as 14.42 mm. Okay, so this is the final solution. And in the problem, the ratio between capital D and small d is given, that is capital D by small d is equal to 1.5. So capital D is equal to 1.5 times of the small d. Okay, so you can substitute the value of capital D and you can calculate the value of substitute the value of small d and we can calculate the capital D. That is 21.63 mm. Okay. So this is how you have to solve the problem. Remember that in the previous problem, stress concentration factor and yield stress, endurance limit stress is directly given. So we have substituted the values. But in this problem, the values are not given. So we have to calculate the theoretical stress concentration factor, then fatigue stress concentration factor Kf and the endurance limit stress. And we have to substitute everything in the Soderberg equation to find the solution. So this is the tutorial problem. A stepped steel rod is subjected to a reversed axial load of 180 kilonewton. So reversed load means in the positive direction it is plus 180 and in the negative direction it is minus 180. You can see that it is plus or minus 180. Find the diameter of the rod for a factor of safety of 2. The factor of safety n is equal to 2. The material has an ultimate tensile strength of 1070 megapascal. So sigma u is equal to 1070 Newton per mm square. And yield strength of 910 megapascal. So sigma y is 910 Newton per mm square. N is equal to 2. The endurance limit in reversed bending may be assumed to be half of the ultimate tensile strength. Okay, so here the endurance limit in reversed bending is half of the ultimate tensile strength. Okay, so in the previous problem we have referred the equation from 1.41 to calculate the endurance limit stress, but here they have given a condition that you can see that in the given data sigma minus 1 is equal to 0.5 times the ultimate tensile strength. Okay, so here it is 0.5 into sigma u. So this is very, very important for your calculation. Remember that sigma minus 1 is equal to 0.5 times the sigma u. Then other correction factors may be taken as for machined surface, it is surface correction factor. Okay, KSR is given. We have to multiply this KSR with the endurance limit stress. Then for size correction factor, KSZ is given. It is 0.85. Then for notch sensitivity, Q is given. Notch sensitivity factor is 0.9. Okay. So the KT value is not given. That is the theoretical stress concentration factor value is not given. So we can refer the drawing and we can compare this with the standard drawings available in the data book. So I think the drawing is same as your previous problem. So you can refer the same graph and you can take the KT value from the graph, and from that you can calculate the KF value. So use the same procedure as your previous problem and try to find the solution. So here also we have to find out the diameters, and remember that, so here the capital D is 2D and small d is D. So when you calculate capital D by small d, that is equal to 2D divided by D, so that is equal to 2. So this is how you have to calculate. And for R by D is equal to, R is 0.2 and D is D. So this is equal to 0.2. So these two data will be useful for calculating the KT value, and this is how you have to calculate the ratios. Okay, so try to solve the problem and find the diameter.